In the fall of 1967, Lee and her eldest son Bernie started their travels through the swimming world. Beginning with the Scarborough Swim Club, they moved to the North York Aquatic Club in 1970 and ended up at the Etobicoke Swim Club in 1973. During the early years, Lee learned how to officiate at many levels, became the editor and publisher of club newsletters, tracked meet times for the coaches, and learned many of the volunteer things that are common when one hangs around the halls of the swimming pool for too long. She also learned the duties and responsibilities of being a swim mom. Trust your husband to make sure that everyone at home is alive and well when you can't be there. Always use your own children as reliable runners at swim meets. Since you see swimming pools daily, volunteer to coach the elementary school swim team when they ask you. And don't jinx your swimmer by watching him when he competes. Years later, Lee was in the building but did not see Bernie qualify for the Olympic team. In 1972, Lee started to work at the Canadian Amateur Swimming Association Ontario Section Office as the technical assistant and began to learn about swimming administration. This experience helped greatly when she was hired as the club secretary of the Etobicoke Swim Club in 1975. There, she learned the intricacies of operating an international-level swim club. In this role, she was able to keep in touch with people in the swimming world, and it allowed her to come to know all members of the swim club, coaches, swimmers, and parents. Not only did she become a centerpiece for the club, but she also became the surrogate mother for many swimmers, especially those who came from out of town and stayed to train with the club. With respect for Lee's efficiency and compassion, it was here that she became known as Mrs. B. Through the 1970s, Lee was asked to manage and chaperone club trips to provincial and national level meets. Her talents and involvement in the sport were recognized by the Canadian Amateur Swimming Association, and in 1978, Lee was asked to chaperone Canada's Pan Am team to Puerto Rico. In 1979, she was asked again to do the same with another international event in Heidelberg, West Germany. Throughout these experiences, Lee realized that she really enjoyed being with kids, regardless of the level at which they competed. With this in mind, Lee underwent a significant change in her life when she was hired as the full-time assistant coach at the Markham Aquatic Club in 1981. That, she says, was one of my best career moves. Despite knowing little of the intricacies of coaching, Lee had the self-motivation and determination to learn the things she needed to know. Her greatest asset was her ability to deal with people of all ages compassionately and effectively, regardless of the situation. Soon, she became a model of a well-rounded coach, and she quickly earned the respect of her swimmers, their parents, and her coaching peers. By 1982, Lee had coached 99 swimmers in 5 different groups personally, a workload few would willingly undertake. In 1985, her son Bernie, also an alumnus in the Ontario Hall of Fame, became the head coach at Markham. Together, they worked to bring the club to the top of the provincial and national rankings. I was having the time of my life, she says. Lee continued to coach full-time until 1989 while doing some part-time work for Swim Ontario. At the same time, she undertook a new challenge by coaching the adults of the Markham Masters. In 1989, Lee made another significant career change when she became the technical director of Swim Ontario. Despite this new commitment, she continued to pursue her first love, coaching novice swimmers regularly until June of 1994. Then, Lee and the 8 full-time employees of Swim Ontario survived the move to a new building, the same one in which the office is currently located. In 1996, she was appointed the executive director in addition to her technical director role. While cutbacks reduced staff to 3.5 employees over the next few years, office morale remained high as Swim Ontario worked hard towards bringing Ontario swimming into the new millennium. Along with the support and commitment of the staff, the provincial board of directors, officials, and coaches, Ontario's program for swimmers with a disability became a model for the country and was just one of many successful improvements made during Lee's time at Swim Ontario. Throughout the years at Swim Ontario, until her retirement in 2004, Lee visited many clubs, regions, and swim meets. She attended numerous award dinners and was asked to speak in many capacities by the Ontario sports community. While I have done just about everything that one could do in this sport, this was, she asserts, the most enjoyable part of my job while at Swim Ontario. I have always been able to keep in close contact with many coaches and officials across the province, and I have found great joy in the many wonderful people whom I've met along the way. And what is Lee doing in her retirement? While she's spending more time with her family, she continues to assist with the Ontario SWAD program, and yes, she still coaches kids. This time, they are teenagers at the Pickering Swim Club. The Ontario Aquatic Hall of Fame is proud to induct Lee Bredschneider as a builder.